I work for Rainbow Turtle, which is a fair trade shop and charity in Paisley. And one of the reasons we invited different groups to get involved is because I often hear the question, if I'm talking to schools or different people, why should we help other people around the world when people here need our help? And I think it's important that we kind of realise that problems don't fit into neat categories and that problems overlap, and that the same is true for the solutions, I think, and we don't have to separate our compassion and portion it out in various parts. We have enough compassion to share it amongst lots of different problems and over lots of different issues. So I think it's really important to have lots of different groups involved in much bigger discussions. And it's really important, I think, too, to have young people, creative people as well. And so we've got some people from Pace Theatre, but they are going to read some readings and some writings from Create Paisley. We've got a couple of people up there. Would you like to come down, the Create Paisley people? I went and spoke to Create about 4 or 5 weeks ago and talked about this film, and we had like a bit of a workshop about fast fashion and exploitation, and we talked a little bit about what's happening in the local area and people living in poverty and people not having access to the same kinds of things that people with more money have. And so this kind of sparked a debate and sparked some creative writing. So we're going to have some people from Pace are going to read some of the readings, but I'll hand over to you now. You can.
Clothes, we all have them, and in them we have fun, but do we really know where they come from when the day is done? People put lots of work into these so they'll be made. So why are clothes not fair trade? So if you get clothes you want to throw away, keep them, give them to a charity shop, and someone else can wear them another day.
The Work Time to Talk by Jack Smith. How would you feel if you had to work all day for just a small bit of money and you know you won't get the credit? Just think of how you would feel after knowing it's only been worn a few times by someone you don't know. After all, that work will be going in the bin. The cost of fashion. What could be done to improve tomorrow? A question that everyone seems to be asking, but no one is willing to answer and then act. Often there is a simple answer, but no one is willing to listen. So that good is a question if the answer is ignored. Factories make millions of pounds every year, but they still pay their workers pennies. The answer, ignored. Because keeping their workers above the line would cost them too much. Too much out of their millions of profit. Because the cost of fashion seems to be broken hands and bloody fingers. And the answer they offer is more hours, more work and less wages. Because they always want more until they have to give it.
Let your passion for fashion take over and send more clothes to Africa. A new job, finally. The pay isn't good, but at least I've got a job working at a sweatshop. Day 2. Bad first day. Boss is an idiot. Work conditions are horrendous and the place smells funny. Day 3. Meet someone here called Joseph. He works next to me, so I've got plenty of time to get to know him. Day 10. Odd how your brain starts to ignore that funny smell after a certain amount of time. Well, anyways, I've learned Joseph has worked here for 4 years and others have worked longer. God, I hope I find a better job soon. Day 18. Joseph has been acting weird today. He seems to be in his own world, stopping mid-sentence and smiling. A lot. Day 19. Joseph wasn't here today. Day 20. I don't know what's happened to Joseph, but I know his seat will be replaced soon. Day 31. I earn barely enough to eat. Joseph's replacement. Jared is already feeling the pain of working here. Day 32. I want to be freed of this place. I'm just praying for a miracle.
Hi, I'm John. I'm in my 20s and I work in the fashion industries. You know, getting the ideas, making the fabrics. It's good to know that people enjoy wearing my creation. But do I get any credit? No. Do they think about the people that made them when they wear it? No. Do I get a fair pay? Not really. But I can't find the bad in everything. I mean, look at charity shops. Once you're finished with a piece of clothing, instead of throwing it away, someone else gets the use of it. Another thing I like is upcycling. Don't like the style anymore? Well, change it to your own style. Right now it is quite bad, but I always try to find the good in things. Why don't you do that with your clothes? Find them a better home than just the bin.
Fashion. From Bangladesh to India, the clothes you buy are made. And are you thinking about who made them and how? Should you think about what you should do? How would you feel if that was you, working for a few pennies? Imagine the correct fair payment would change people's life that made them. Only now you can change your life. Now stop and think. Bye, Logan.
True cost of fashion. T, tiring work, long hours, low pay. R, rustling of fabric and machinery all day. U, under awful conditions, workers struggle. E, every day is full of hustle and bustle. C, caring mothers work to make ends meet. O, or struggle to find the money to eat. S, shouts and screams come from the nibble. T, terrifying the desperate families who wait in a huddle. O, our selfishness causes death and pain. F, for the overworked women who potentially go insane. F, for what? Our fashion, our style? A, and what about those who go the extra mile? S, so they are able to keep their home? H, hating the thought of having nothing, they are not alone. I, instead we could fight, gain more power. O, our voices could help stop these people overworking by the hour. N, now we can work to make a needed change.
I drape myself in velvet tracksuits. My denim tuxedo is shameless. Garish hats, rainbow braces, shorts in winter. My style won't grace the pages of Vogue or GQ, but despite my lack of sartorial flair, I am always best dressed, for my brand is fair trade. I wear my mess with pride. What am I? Without power, I am only me. Can I change the rules that have defined the world? Yes, I believe so. Even with the darkness in our world, we always find the light. Fair trade, charity shops, and vintage stores will allow our world to thrive. I am the fashion industry.
Ignorance. A choice to ignore what's going on around us. The belief that because everything is okay in our lives, it must be everywhere, right? Because the clothes we wear don't have shaky signatures of sore hands after working for 12 hours with no break, doing the same seam over and over. That would be ridiculous. As the stories come and go with the shocking headlines that occasionally remind us that everything is not okay, not everyone chooses to listen. Not every child gets fed every morning and rushed off to school. Not every parent can choose when they want their holidays because some don't get any. Not every worker dies in their factory because of 4 illegal floors collapsing on them like an ant with a shoe. But that's all they wear. Ants working hard so that we can wear our cheap clothes with a smile while they sew their tears into the hems. What are we if they are but ants? Ignorant, naive, deaf. Deaf to the cries, deaf to the screams, and blind. By Abigail King.
Fashion by Sylvia Dunlop. Have you ever thought about how fair the clothes you wear are? You put on an outfit and you don't think about where it came from or who made it. Or do you? If you do, you're not like me. The people who make your clothes have barely any money or income, and certainly less clothes than 99% of us. So, the next time you buy clothes, just think.
And now for the final reading. Why must so much of our society place emphasis on what we buy, how we dress ourselves, that the price of our clothes match a false sense of self-worth of ourselves? Fashion is a vain, deceitful, world-wide cult in which its price is metaphorically our fragile sock.